Hi everyone, this is Ariana from Tales by Ari. Today I want to share my thoughts on my most recent read. The novel is titled Colorless Tsukuru, Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage. And this is my third read by the Japanese author Haruki Murakami. Previously I have read two other novels by him. First I read Wind-Up, and then second I read the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle. And it felt like a big departure from his previous novels, and I also think it spoke volumes to where I am in my life right now. Compared to the other two novels, it didn't have as much of fantastical elements as the other two. I feel like in both of these reads, there were like a lot more supernatural elements at play, and this novel didn't have that as much. It had some feel of it, but it didn't come into the storyline quite as much as it does in these two novels right here. And in that sense, that's why I think it was like a big departure from his previous novels. Also, like with that is the aspect of otherworldliness, or like being in a different physical realm. I feel like this novel didn't have it, and so it made it really different kind of read for me than his other ones. I feel like both of these had, well, if you've read them, hopefully they're not spoiler alerts, but they have a very different feel. Like you're not sure which kind of world you're in, if you're in the real one or the altered one, and there's just slight hints that indicate like where you are. And in Colorless Tsukuru, I didn't feel like that was the case. It just seemed like more direct and more stable, and it wasn't indicative of you being like in a different sense, or like being distorted or not knowing where you are. And that's the sense that I did get from the other two novels, which I love about Murakami. I think it's a really unique perspective, and it makes him sort of weird, but also really, really cool. So I loved that about the previous novels, but in this read, it was very different, but that's okay. Like, I still enjoyed it. As I feel like both of these novels like leave me more pensive and thinking about like what the heck is going on. Like, I have no idea. Like, at the end, I feel like I'm not sure like how to feel about the book, or like what my conclusion is about it. And I feel like this novel was just like a lot more direct, and in that sense, I felt like it lended more itself to like, I don't know, being motivational about your life. Like, another thing that I liked about this particular novel and about other novels that I read by Murakami is, you know, just the idea of romance. I feel like he's such a romantic writer, and it's so nice, like, even though like I'm not sure how I feel about this in real life, but the sense that there's like a person that you're meant to be with, I just think it's a really idealistic notion, but in his books it really works without being corny. It doesn't feel forced. It just feels like it's the way things are supposed to be. I also feel like in this third novel that I read, it just didn't play as big of a role as it does in these two books. I just feel like it didn't add to the storyline or the plot quite as much, and it didn't develop. It didn't make up the storyline. I feel like it was included in it, but it didn't you know, invigorate the plot. And also, like, it developed very slowly, and also in the end, it isn't very conclusive. It kind of leaves you like thinking like where it goes from there. Whereas I feel like these two novels are more concrete as like where the romantic development is going, and that's another departure for the third novel. So if you're looking for that great romance that is in the Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, even though this one's kind of twisted, or in Wind-Up, which is really, really precious, you're not going to get it here. It's still there. There's still hints of it, but it's not as robust as it is in these two novels. Another element of this novel that I also really liked, but isn't as Murakami-like, or isn't as present in this novel, is the idea of like evil versus good. I feel like in these two novels, it heavily plays like front and center, and in this role, like in this book, it's hinted at, but it's not necessarily like the focal point. There's a particular scene where Tsukuru is visiting with a friend. They talk about, you know, the bad elves getting you, and the idea of like bad elves being out there and you know, leading you astray or possessing you. So in that sense, the idea of evil is present, but it doesn't project itself into the storyline in such a supernatural way or so strongly as it does in these two books. I feel like in these two books, like, characters themselves like encompass that evil nature or that evil aspect, or like you know, supernatural elements like happen around you that indicate that evil is at play. But this is not the case. I feel like his signature like trademarks are not as heavy in this novel, but I really enjoyed it. I think especially where I am in my life right now, I really needed a read like this, especially that idea of color and individualism, like everyone having like their own aura or their own glow about them, and having something that's unique to them that makes them different from someone else, I thought was really, really cool. And it just it portrays this idea of like everyone having like a sense of purpose in life, and it just keeps me thinking, like, you know what, like I need to do the things that I love, which include reading and hiking and cooking and all of those things, and, you know, like really like have those things like add color and dimension to my life. I just feel like this book like reiterated that. Like, I really hope that you all have enjoyed this video and you all did not think I was yapping away as I sometimes feel. So I hope you all tune in for the next one. I'm not sure what it's going to be on yet, if it's going to be on my next read or my next hiking venture, but we'll see. Let me know if you all want to see something in particular, or if you all have book recommendations for me. I would love to hear them. And if you all want to hear what's on my reading list, like, let me know, comment below, and give it a thumbs up. Thanks everyone. Bye. Con mucho corazon, Ari.